Another month, folks. We are into April. Been a lot of rugby played in the last month. We've seen Six Nations champions be crowned, and there is still more rugby which has kicked off. So happy days as rugby fans, despite the pandemic and whatnot. I will go over some of the monthly stuff, a bit of news about my employment. Some thanks and a little bit about the Trans-Tasman comp and the Lions tour as well, which is certainly also on the cards. I guess I'll start with the first one, which is just the fact that I left my job as of, I think, today is my first day. I returned the laptop and whatnot yesterday. A lot of you guys on the live streams and stuff would know, but I used to work for one of the local universities here in Auckland. They have been financially in a bit of strife due to COVID because they largely rely on international students coming here to do their studies, because international students pay a lot more than domestic students. And obviously with COVID, that's kind of put paid to that. So yeah, they are definitely downsizing. They're doing, what do they call it, functional reviews. And a lot of people are either losing their jobs or not really. They haven't really had to lay anyone off yet, but they did offer staff redundancy if you wanted to take it. So I put my hand up for the redundancy, and they haven't given me the money yet, but essentially I am officially out of work. So that's both a good thing and a bad thing. I'll miss the people I used to work with. They're a very cool bunch. Maybe won't miss some of the stuff. Every job's got its good points and its bad points. Usually it's the people that's a good thing, hopefully, unless you work in a toxic office. But yeah, so essentially no more day job for me for now. What that does mean is I should be able to dedicate a bit more of my time to the rugby stuff. And when I say a bit more, hopefully a lot more. I already gave a fair bit of my spare time to the rugby, but yeah, hopefully going forward I can do more stuff. For now anyway, like I said, they've given me redundancy, not that it's hit my bank account yet, but so I do have a little bit of a window where I can focus on some rugby stuff. Now what that will bring in is my huge thanks, especially for the Patreon people. If you've ever thought about supporting me on Patreon, now would be the time, because I will give it a crack to see if I can make better content for both YouTube and for Patreon, get some people to sign up, which should mean I can put more of my time into this, either as kind of a fully part-time or even a full-time gig. I'm not sure, folks. It's kind of, it's uncharted territory for me as well. But these people have signed up for Patreon, and they support me essentially financially every month. It's a few bucks here or there, depending on kind of how much people are capable of doing, but every bit of it is absolutely appreciated. And especially at a time like this, I will be very thankful for all that support, man. What else can I say? It's pretty touching. So yeah, like I said, if you have a thought, if you have capability, not if you don't, if you're unemployed, then don't even think about it, man. I will certainly get by, but these people helping out make the rugby stuff a bit more of a possibility. So we'll see how things go, folks. Thank you. I'll put the link to Patreon in the description. If you are able to sign up, please consider it. It would be appreciated. If you can't, then just do what you can, man. Watch the videos. That helps. Like the videos. That helps. Subscribe to the channel. That certainly helps. When I look at the stats, it's always like 60+% of people are not subscribed. But yeah, all of those little things, commenting, all that kind of stuff, it all helps a heap. Even just adding good luck with your new job, which I don't have yet, will add to YouTube's algorithm and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, bro, we'll see how it goes. Both excited and nervous to see how things pan out with that. It's a big change. I've been in that uni for like 7 years in various different roles, so certainly a big shift. The monthly stuff, the most viewed content was all Six Nations. It was a very dramatic tournament. If you guys didn't follow it, it was a great year to follow it, despite the fact there weren't any crowds. Interestingly, the most viewed video was one I did about a reporter asking Owen Farrell some questions after a particularly hard loss. The questions were a bit a bit poorly directed and repetitive and kind of unanswerable for the player. But yeah, I guess that just fits in with the world nowadays being a wee bit keen on the drama. I never intended that one to be my most popular video of the month, but over 50,000 views on that one. So yeah, people had their 2 cents about that one as well. Then the France-Wales game and the Ireland-England game also really popular ones. So yeah, like I said, the Six Nations was a phenomenal tournament this year. And happily, the Women's Six Nations just kicked off. I haven't watched any yet, but that's on the agenda. The MLR has just kicked off a couple of weeks ago. That's on the agenda now that I have a bit more free time on my hands. The Champions Cup got back underway this weekend, just gone. Some interesting results, some proper hidings, and some really close ones. Super Rugby Aotearoa and AU continue on as well. So there's plenty of rugby going on, folks, despite the fact that there's no internationals on for a wee while. I should say, in terms of the channel stats for the month, most of the viewers from the UK, Ireland, and France, kind of no surprises there, given the Six Nations was on. New Zealand, Australia, 4 and 5. Average age group is 25 to 34, which is pretty much always the same way. And 94% male, 6% female, which is seemingly around about the standard ratio we get pretty much every month nowadays anyway. But yes, that's the monthly stuff. A quick word on the Trans-Tasman competition. If you weren't aware, Super Rugby Aotearoa is going on here in New Zealand. It's just the 5 Super Rugby teams from New Zealand. The Super Rugby AU is going on across the ditch. Those 5 teams playing each other. Now the big question for us is, and it's kind of uncharted territory for us because we've always had the kind of inter-country, intercontinental competition that was Super Rugby, the old version. But with that not being on, we've got these New Zealand teams playing in this little bubble and the Australian teams playing in this bubble, but no idea how they're going to match up. The Reds are tearing it up in AU. They are unbeaten, whereas the Crusaders have just suffered their first loss in the Aotearoa season, and then everyone else has lost. So where do the Reds fit in that scale of thing? You guys in Europe get to see that kind of thing with the Champions Cup. When you see Leinster, you'll get to see them play Exeter, and you'll kind of know this year who's better, the Premiership teams or the Pro 14 teams. The top 14 teams are certainly smashing it up this season as well. But they've just confirmed a competition which was planned a long time ago, the Trans-Tasman Super Rugby comp, like a 6-week comp on the tail end of the 2 previous comps, will go ahead because the governments of Australia and New Zealand have agreed that a travel bubble, which will allow travel between both countries without the need for quarantine, is going to go ahead. So that's fantastic news. To see the Reds play some of the New Zealand teams is going to be absolutely fascinating, but also the Brumbies as well. And I don't know, some of the bottom New Zealand teams, will they smash it up against the Aussie teams? Because the Aussie competition has looked really good. So it'll be one to watch. And then also everything's about the Lions tour. The Springboks are kind of going under the radar with everybody thinking about who's going to make Gatlin's team. But Russie is still getting his boys ready. Obviously, they've got the preparation tournament going on at the moment for the guys based in South Africa. And they are also aligning in some camps, which is essentially, I guess, they're doing it by region. So I think the boys from the Bulls and the Lions will be the first ones to get together. Those players which Russie is interested in are going to get together in a quick 2-3 day camp, and I guess he's going to lay down, him and Jacques Nina are going to lay down the law as to what they are looking for, what strategies they'll be looking to employ, and all that kind of good stuff. So despite the fact that most of the news is on the British and Irish Lions side, the other team which is part of that tour are also getting their ducks in a row as well, which is very good news. We always want it to be competitive and both sides as prepared as they can be. But yeah, that's pretty much it, folks. I am officially unemployed, so as I said, anything you guys can do to help me out, I will try my best to put out better content now that I've got time to spend some time maybe on a bit of editing. I'll still keep the whiteboard, man. That's like the bread and butter of this channel. But, doing my research, building my own kind of database on some of the stats, which you guys know I love, but hopefully I can do a bit more of that. And as I said, thanks to the patrons, that plus you guys watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, all that jazz, hopefully can get me through to a degree. We will see, folks. As I said, it's kind of uncharted territory, but we'll see how we get on. Anyway, you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.